this is Carrie's Canary Quilts, and we are on the 10th month of my Birds of a Feather quilt along that I'm doing. This quilt along is based on my Fat Quarter Shop Solid of the Month club that I'm in, and their colors are based on North American birds. So I am doing a bird themed block each month. So this month is the Purple Martin. And I'm sorry if I say Marlin, I just seem to say Marlin instead of Martin, but it's the Purple Martin bird. These are Kona cottons that we got this month, which I love Kona cottons. And we're doing flying geese. So, a staple of quilting. If you're new here, you don't have to be part of the club to do this. That's just based on bird colors and their bird name blocks. So you can pull from your stash or whatever you have at home if you want to do these blocks also. I'll have the patterns down below at my website. In the description down below, I have my website and you can find the patterns there. But we're on the 10th month. We only got 2 more to do after this. But I did a flying geese that kind of chase each other around the block here. And since my colors are based on this, they're numbered from 1 to 12. So I started 1 over here. And then I just did each number as I went around, and then the background is number 9. So kind of dark colors this month, but it still turned out really pretty. And what I'm going to do in this video, since it's just flying geese, I'm going to show you the 2 ways that I do flying geese. One way I do prefer, but I do them both ways. So I'm going to show you both ways that I do flying geese. So that's about all there is to this block, not too hard. If you're using the 12 colors from the Solid of the Month Club, then I kind of show you how I keep track of my colors and get them in the order that I want them. But anyway, I've got the quilt kind of assembled back here with all 9 months here behind me. It's turning out really pretty. So I will link January and June's videos down below if you want to do sashing like mine, but I wasn't too sure about this sashing with the different colors, but oh my gosh, I love it when I look at it. It just is so pretty next to each other. So that's kind of a preview of what it's going to look like, and this is going to go in the bottom row. So I have got a couple of things coming up. Here it is. Should have had it ready. I just want to let you know that Fat Quarter Shop is going to be doing a piece and quilt sampler. It's a quilt along that starts next March. It is a paper piece, and we're going to be using the It's So Emma rolls and pads like this to paper piece with. And I love paper piecing and I love a sampler quilt. And I am going to use my So Colorful Fat Quarter Shop club that I'm in to build up these blocks, and probably the low volume club that I'm in. So I'm going to be getting these every month, and I'm going to put them away so I can put them into this quilt. But also I wanted to let you know that I have quite a few of these, and I was going to buy them just the pieces or the packages that I needed instead of the package that Fat Quarter Shop offers. But when I did that, I found out I was going to actually pay more to buy these as pieces when I could get all the pieces I needed for a lot less in their package. So if you want to do this with me, I will have a link to all the information down below, and you can order the book, which is called Celebrate with Quilts by Lisa Alexander and Susan Aki. And there's more than one quilt in that book, so I will probably be doing something else out of that book since I'm going to have so many paper pieces left. And I'm going to show you how to paper piece. If you're interested and you've never paper pieced before and you want to try this quilt, I will show you how to do it. So I just want to let you know that that's coming up, and I will keep you notified on this. But I am going to show you how to do 2 ways of flying geese. So let's get started on our October Purple Martin flying geese block. Oh, and hit the subscribe button, notification bell, and you'll see me do the next 2 months and all the other fun stuff we got going on here. All right, let's get started on our October Purple Martin. And I always want to call it a Marlin. I don't know why. Purple Martin. And this month we're doing flying geese. You knew flying geese was coming in. It's such a staple to quilting. And this is my flying geese version of our block here in Purple Martin colors. So I ended up choosing the lightest color in here, which is number 9. I guess it's not that light, but anyway, as all my background colors. So this isn't going to be very hard to put together. We have 16 flying geese and we have a center block. And each flying goose base is one of our colors from the Fat Quarter Shop's October Solid of the Month Club for the Purple Martin. And we are going to have some doubles in here, so you can pick whatever color you want to make a double. Since we have 12 colors and we have 16 flying geese. So I picked the first 5 are all going to have 2 flying geese, and then the rest are going to have 1 flying goose. So these are going to be my corners to all my flying geese, and that is the center block. So I'm just going to give you a little refresher course on how to do a flying goose. We'll get them all done, and then we just put the block together. So it's actually going to go together in rows. We're going to put it together in rows like this. So I am going to get set up. I just want to show you the colors. There's so much fabric left in these when we get done. We don't use very much, and it's going to go towards other projects that I have. But anyway, let's get set up and do our flying goose. All right, so I have my first color, which has 2 flying geese in it for the base, and then these are all my flying geese corners. I'm going to show you 2 ways that I make flying geese, and I'm going to show you the way I like the best. But the more traditional way is to draw a diagonal line on the back of your corners, and then you're going to put that diagonal line right sides together on your base like that. You clip it, and then we're going to sew on this line. And then we'll come back, we'll trim it, and then we're going to iron towards the corner. So this is probably the most well-known way of making flying geese. You bring it over to your machine. I'm lining my needle up with the corner and setting it down, and then we're just going to sew right along that line. I'm not going to push my fabric, I'm just guiding it through. You can see that I have a 1/4 inch foot on my machine. That's just because that was the last foot I was using. But an open toe foot would help you see the line better as you're guiding it through your machine. So it's just your preference. All right, here's my first corner put on. There's my seam. I'm going to take my 1/4 inch on my ruler and set it right on that seam. And that will give me my 1/4 inch seam allowance. So now we're going to go to the iron, and we're going to iron towards the corner. There we go. Now we're going to take our other corner with the diagonal, and we're going to put it face down against our base. We're going to make sure that it crosses our other piece up here at the top, and we're also going to sew on the line on this one, trim 1/4 inch from the seam, and iron towards the corner. So I'm back at my machine, and I'm starting on the corner that isn't at the top where it crosses the other corner, and that's because I don't want to try to go through all that material right when I'm starting. Here's our second seam. Put my 1/4 inch marking on my ruler on the seam, trim, get that 1/4 inch seam allowance, and iron towards the corner. Look at that beautiful flying goose. So here's my second one. So this is how I prefer to do it. I'm not going to mark it. I'm going to put it right sides together just like this one. But I'm going to show you at my machine, and you probably saw a sneak peek of what I use. I'm going to show you at my machine how I do this with some washi tape, 1/4 inch seam washi tape. I think that's what it's called. I'll have a link down below if you like. If you want to try this out. It's not very expensive to buy this tape. So let me take you to my machine. So I've set my tape down so that that white line is in line with my needle. I'm going to take my fabric and I'm going to put the corner in right up there next to my needle. And then I'm going to come down to the bottom and line that corner up with the white line down here. So what's important about this method is you're going to watch that bottom corner as it goes up through and keep it on that line. And that will give you a nice straight line from corner to corner. And again, I'm just guiding my material, not pushing it, and keeping my eye on the bottom corner as it follows that white line. All right, at this point, it's exactly the same. We're gonna trim 1/4 of an inch from our seam and iron towards the corner. All right, adding the second corner is exactly the same. Line it up right sides together, and let's take it over to the machine. So again, I'm starting on the bottom of the flying goose in that corner so that I'm not crossing all that material at once, at the beginning I should say. And I'm keeping my eye on that bottom corner, and I'm just making sure that bottom corner rides right along that white line. All right, there's my first 2 flying geese, and I am going to leave the 1 on these because the base color makes a difference if you want to do it in the same order that I'm doing it in my pattern. The key in my pattern here tells you that A1's going to go in this corner. So I pretty much have it in order all the way around, and then I start over again and point back. So you can do whatever order you want. You can lay it out. This is just the order I've chosen. These colors, I could not match the colors in there, so it's going to look different than this, but that's how I'm doing it. So there you go, 2 different methods of doing flying geese. I prefer washi tape because I just dread having to mark all of these. So that's what I prefer, and I'll have a link to the washi tape down below so that if you want to use it, you can. Now, mine is really cool because I've got the Halloween washi tape from my sew sampler, my spooky sew sampler box. So that's a lot of fun for me too, to look at the Halloween when I'm doing this. So I have 2 of the 16, and so I'm going to finish the other 14, and like I said, when I get done I'm going to keep them marked like this so that I know where they go in my block. Alright, here's my pile of flying geese. I've kept the numbers together, which goes to the base, and that's my fabric color number. So the way we're going to put this together is we're going to build 2 sets of 4. So this set of 4 and this set of 4 flying geese. And then 4 sets of 2. So these 2, and then these 2, these 2, and these 2. Because we're going to put this together in rows, so we don't have to do any Y seams in the middle. So this is how it's going to go. Be my 1. I have 1. Or I have 2 1s. Here's 2. 3 and 4 are going to round out this set of 4. So that's my first set that's going to go together. Then my second set of 4 is going to be 10. And I only have 1 of these, so I can get rid of those. And then 11. And then 12. And 1. So those are my first 2 sets of 4. So let me get these put together, and then we'll come back and we'll do our sets of 2. So put these together, and let's always iron towards the base of the flying goose we are attaching. Okay, here's my 2 strips of 4 that I'm going to need in my block. And I've just kept the 1 and the 10 here, just so when I come back to this, I know that this is the number 1 flying goose fabric, and this is the number 10 fabric, so I know where it goes in my block. All right, now let's build the sets of 2. So we need a 2 and a 3. We need a 7 and an 8, a 5 5 and a 6, and a 4 and a 5. All right, same thing with these. We will sew these together and iron towards the base of the flying goose that we're putting on. All right, here's my groups of 2s right here that I finished, and I maintain the numbers on the top so I know where they go. So at this point, we can start putting our rows together. So I'm going to start up here and do 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm going to go 5, 6. It's going to fit right there. And then up top is going to be 4, 5, and it's going to point that way. 9, our 9 patch is going to go in the middle. And then 5, 6, 7, 8. It's going to go down here. And then we use 9. 9 is the color that's in the background, so I'm going to start with 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, and 3 are going to go like that. We need to sew these 2 together and then sew this row together. So let's iron the center row away from the patch so we can nest with this seam, and then towards the 4 patch here and towards the 4 patch here. And that's all in the corner, or in the pattern, not the corner, the pattern. So let's put these together. Match that seam with the point. We're going to sew this. And we're going to iron towards the 4 patch. And then I'll do this one over here, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to iron towards the 4 patch. All right, here's our 2 outside rows. We've ironed towards the 4 here, and we've ironed towards the 4 here. Now we want to add these on, and we're going to iron towards the flying geese unit. There's my 3 rows, and you can see that I have my flying geese just kind of wrapping around in a circle here. So we need to put our rows together, and where these 2 seams meet, those seams will be nested. Same on this side, and yeah, let's iron towards the center row. There we go, there's our flying geese block in purple marten colors. Not marlin, like I have a tendency to say, but marten. So, since these go kind of in a circle, you can just put them any way you want. So this wasn't my original design for the flying geese, but when the colors came in so dark, I kind of modified it so that I would be able to have a pattern where I had one fabric as the background. And as I started putting this all together, this kind of came through as a pattern that I felt kind of showcased the colors, let them stand out, and we could use one of the fabrics as the background. And have a lot of background in there. And then just have these going in a circle. That was just what I decided on. So, there you go. Let me know if you're doing this. I'm going to sash this out. My January and my June videos, which I will link down below, have tutorials for sashing the way I'm doing it. And let me know how it's going for you. Anyway, hit the subscribe button, notification bell. You'll get to see the next 2 months, and then we put it all together and make this beautiful quilt. It's really been a fun adventure utilizing Fat Quarter Shop's Solid of the Month in North American bird colors this year to make a bird themed block. It's been a lot of fun, and I only have 2 more months left. Anyway, I had a blast making this block. It really did turn out pretty, and I had a blast making this video, and I'll see you in the next. Bye!